So you know what? The big Kindle MMA has been thinking a lot recently. After Sean O'Malley's performance against Chito Vera, I've been taking some time in the chamber, in the lab, taking long, hot showers, just gathering my thoughts together. And I thought to myself, Sean O'Malley can be the next bantamweight go. And I know that sounds crazy. I know it sounds pretty lofty. I know it might be a bit premature, but this guy definitely has the potential in the next year, year and a half at most to be the next bantamweight GOAT. And bantamweight is not that crazy of a division. It doesn't take 7, 8, 9 title defenses to be considered the GOAT of bantamweight. It only takes 3, 4 at most, because Dominic Cruz only had 3. Aljamain Sterling only had 3 title defenses, and O'Malley already has 1. And I think if he beats Merab, I think if he beats Corey Sandhagen, he is the next bantamweight GOAT, because he is just that damn good. And I know I'm glazing O'Malley early right now. I am not an O'Malley glazer, but I have to take the time to sit here and make this video, and I'll keep it real here. I like O'Malley. When he beat Eddie Wineland on his comeback fight, where he fake uppercut punched him out cold, that made me a huge fan. Now, since then, I've kind of cooled off because the way that he acts, the way that he treats his daughter and his child on podcast, he's a very weird personality that I don't really resonate with that well. But O'Malley as a fighter in the octagon, this guy's just different. And I hate to say that, but I also love to say it at the same time. Now, with that being said, let's talk business. Let's get down in the nitty-gritty and discuss the elephant in the room, Merab Dvalishvili versus Sean O'Malley. Who wins this fight? That's the big mega question of the day. And hand to God, hand on my heart, the Kindle MMA opinion is true. Listen, this fight is a 50-50 fight. I don't think the fight is in favor of Merab. I don't think the fight's in favor of Sean O'Malley. This, to me, is a truly 50-50 fight. Now, with my pledge of allegiance being said here, listen, I think O'Malley KOs Merab in the first round. Now, listen, don't dislike the video just yet. Just hear me out. Give me the next minute of your time to discuss how Merab will get KO'd out cold by Sean O'Malley. And here's the thing. Merab is chinnable. This guy can be hurt. He can be hurt early. Marlon Moraes did it. Henry Cejudo did it. Merab's chin is not granite. It's not the best chin we've ever seen. He is a chinnable fighter. And O'Malley is the best guy at finding somebody's chin. I know the MMA Guru made a whole video about this. Listen, I was thinking this before he even made his video, so I'm going to talk about it anyways. But O'Malley has the one-punch KO style to really mess up Merab in the first round. Can Merab get his takedowns off? Can Merab take down O'Malley and hold him against the cage for 5 rounds and just out cardio him? For sure. That's why it's 50-50. But in that first and second round, I think there's so much danger for Merab to get rocked by a straight right, a left hook, a knee up the middle. There's so many avenues for O'Malley to take here that he can find ways to hurt Merab. And when it comes to finishing ability, O'Malley's the best at it. Whenever you watch O'Malley hurt somebody, not named Chito Vera because Chito is on a different level of toughness, but when he hurt Raulian Paiva, watch that fight back. O'Malley has the cleanest strikes whenever somebody is hurt against the cage. He is a sniper. He has the best movement, body shots, front kicks, teeps, straight rights, overhand rights, like everything that he does in a finishing sequence is just beautiful to watch. And I'm done glazing, but it's so good to watch. And if at any point Merab is in the same situation that Raulian Paiva was, he's getting finished. I don't care. Marlon Moraes, he's good, but he's not good enough to finish Merab. Henry Cejudo, look at him. He's a little gremlin. He's a little boy. He can't really do it. But if O'Malley's in that situation where he hurts Merab at any point, I think Merab gets flatline KO'd out cold because O'Malley is just that good. And you know what? I will dare to say it. Sean O'Malley is the best striker in the UFC. I don't care. I know I'm glazing, but he is better. He's better than Topuria. He's better than Volk. He's better than Israel Adesanya, if you want to put him in there. He's better than Alex Pereira, which I know sounds crazy because Pereira is a 2-time glowing kickboxing world champion. But in terms of just skill for skill, MMA striking, I think Sean O'Malley is the best striker in the UFC. Nobody does what Sean O'Malley does. Nobody utilizes feints as well as O'Malley. Nobody's using a spinning wheel kick feint often in the UFC. Nobody does that, but Sean O'Malley does. His front kick is, I mean, one of the best in the business. This dude has elite level striking. And I think if you put him versus Merab, if it's on the feet, at some point, I think O'Malley finds Merab's chin, and I think he puts him down. So that's case number one. Now, again, can Merab beat O'Malley? For sure. Again, it's a 50-50 fight, hand to God. It's a close fight. Merab can definitely win, but my edge goes to O'Malley in my prediction. If they do end up fighting each other, I will be picking O'Malley down the line by first round KO. So that's first point case scenario. That's two defenses for O'Malley. So where does his third defense come from? Where does the third guy pop up that he can beat to solidify himself as that bantamweight GOAT? And that has to be Corey Sandhagen, I believe. Depends if Merab and Sandhagen fight, then this whole thing kind of gets messed up. Who knows? But let's say that Merab just gets an immediate title shot, and then Sandhagen fights I don't know, somebody in the meantime, and he beats them. Let's say my prediction comes true, and O'Malley KOs Merab in the first round. Then he fights Corey Sandhagen. He's not moving up to fight Topuria. I don't care. Topuria, you need to at least clear out your division first before you move up a division. You shouldn't be able to move up to fight for that belt because you want to. No, you have to earn that right. I don't care who you are at this point, but let's say O'Malley ends up fighting Corey Sandhagen for his third title defense. I think he beats Corey Sandhagen as well. I think O'Malley's more dynamic on the feet. I think he is more powerful than Corey Sandhagen, obviously. And you know what? I'll dare to say it again. I think Corey Sandhagen is a harder matchup than Merab Dvalishvili. I know that sounds crazy, but Corey Sandhagen has a long, rangy build. He strikes at range very well. He's better striking than anybody O'Malley has faced up to this point. And lastly, Sandhagen is also willing to grapple, and that just might mess up O'Malley's entire flow state. That might just send him off the deep end. And who knows, maybe Corey Sandhagen can be that guy to beat O'Malley. Because you know what? Sandhagen has a good chin as well. When do we see him ever get KO'd by anybody or really hurt? Not that often. So Sandhagen does have a chance to just take the shots from O'Malley and just out-grapple him and just mindly strike him for 5 rounds. It's possible, but I don't think that O'Malley loses to Sandhagen, but I do think Sandhagen is a really, really bad matchup for O'Malley. And now, why do I believe this? Listen, I know MMA math cannot be the best thing to go off of sometimes, but you know what? I'm going to do it anyways here. But when you compare Chito Vera versus Sandhagen, compare that to O'Malley versus Sandhagen, O'Malley did it a lot better. Let's be real here. Sandhagen, I know it sounds crazy, but he won a split decision over Chito Vera that had no business being a split decision. We all know that Corey Sandhagen won that fight pretty clearly. But you know what? When did we ever see Sandhagen rock Chito Vera? When did we ever see Chito Vera's face swollen up, having visible damage? We saw none of that versus Corey Sandhagen. And maybe you can argue that Sandhagen grappled early, so that led to less damage being on his face or on Chito's face. But O'Malley fully embarrassed Chito Vera, made a complete mockery of him, and probably proved that their first fight was a fluke and that O'Malley is clearly the better guy. He is clearly the better fighter. And Sandhagen, even though that it's comparable to O'Malley's performance, it just wasn't as good. Simple as that. And I think O'Malley, I think he doesn't put down Sandhagen, but I think he outstrikes him for 5 rounds. And if O'Malley can beat Sandhagen after he beats Merab, then that's 3 title defenses. That ties the bantamweight record. And at that point, I think that he's faced better competition than Dominic Cruz and Aljamain Sterling. And Aljo is kind of the easier one to say that he's better than, because Aljo beat a Petr by split decision, then he beat a one-armed TJ Dillashaw, and then he beat an old man Henry Cejudo. So I think at that point, I think O'Malley having wins over Chito Vera, Merab, and Sandhagen, that clears Aljamain's resume in his title defenses. And then when it comes to Dominic Cruz, I believe he had 2 over Uriah Faber, and I think 1 over Benavidez, but his whole WEC reign was very impressive. So if you count WEC, maybe Cruz is still your GOAT, but I think if you only count UFC, then O'Malley probably overtakes him if he does defend his belt 2 more times. So yeah, that's how O'Malley can be the bantamweight GOAT. If he does pull off a win versus Merab, it would be a crazy win, especially if he gets it by first round KO. Then I think he easily beats Sandhagen. Not easily, but I think he finds a way to get past Corey Sandhagen in a 5-round hard fight for himself. And if he does that, if he does those 2 things, then guess what? I think we have to consider him the bantamweight GOAT. But you know what? The UFC is so weird. Maybe he just fights Topuria anyways. Maybe we don't even see a Merab fight or even a Sandhagen fight down the line. maybe the UFC just does him versus Topuria. Dana White has been pretty adamant about that not happening, so we'll see what happens. And you know what? Maybe the UFC does Merab versus Sandhagen in the meantime, because O'Malley looked like he broke his arm or his leg in that Cheeto fight, so maybe he needs some time off. So the UFC might just do Merab versus Sandhagen now in the meantime to make a clear #1 contender, and then the winner of that fights O'Malley for the belt. So we might never see the loser of that fight even challenge O'Malley, because they'll be on a losing streak and they have no rights to the title. So this video might be null and void by the time that O'Malley fights again. Who knows? But I still think if O'Malley finds a way to get 2 more title defenses, then he can be considered the bantamweight GOAT. I think he needs 3 more at least to for sure lock himself in. But at 3, there's an argument for it. Or at 3 total. If he wins 3 more fights at bantamweight, then that puts him at 4 defenses, and that makes him the GOAT in my opinion. But if he wins 2 more in the meantime, it puts him at 3 defenses, and then there's a discussion if he's the GOAT or not. We don't know, man. I'm just kind of spitballing here. There's not much content to make this week. It's Tuivasa versus Tybura. So yeah, it's been a pretty iffy week for the Kindle here. I've been spitballing ideas for content to make, and this one came to mind, so I thought I might just share my opinion on here. But you know what? This might be a stretch. This might have been a whole, I guess, 10-minute video of me glazing O'Malley. I'm sorry. I am an O'Malley fan, but I'm not a O'Malley glazer, if I'm being honest with you. You might think I'm lying about that, but trust me, I'm not lying about that, but it is what it is. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications. I'm out of here. Peace. I'm not an O'Malley glazer, but I do like O'Malley.